Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box with a Technical Trader, and it's Thursday night, March the 10th. Market at the crossroads finally broke to the downside today, and it looked awfully negative, and some key levels were broken. So we should see some more downside, but we are getting oversold. So we'll have to see what kind of downside follow through we get. So today I'm going to talk about both longs and shorts, the ones that are looking best on the long side and the short side as well. Starting out with ANIK Therapeutics, which today popped in the middle of all this debacle, jumped 79 cents or 9% on a sharp pickup in volume. As you can see, technicals thrusted to and balance of power turned from red to green in one day. Now the stock got up to as high as 10.11, which is right in that resistance zone, as you can see. It backed off, so we're going to need some follow through to get it up past that 10.25.35 zone to have an extension on this. But if it does, look for 12 on it. ARMH, excuse me, AVAV, Aero Environment, which had a beautiful breakaway gap yesterday, had a nice follow through today, up $1.32, up 4% on solid volume. But the significance of today's action that it spiked through the top of the channel. At this point, it looks like it is headed for 35 or 36. BLTI acting fantastically today. You can see that since the mid-January explosion here, it was followed by nice technical action. A little pennant here, a little flag there, a little pop and a mini pennant there, and then it's been spiking up. Now today it reached the top of the channel at 478, so there may be some significance to this level in terms of resistance, but if it does break through here, we could see a spike up that takes it to the 6.5 3/4 zone. That's my next target on it, should it fall through. Big day today for CHSI, following up yesterday's huge day. Yesterday jumping 827, today up another 246 after a major deal which more than doubled their subscribers. The stock at this point looks like it may be headed for higher levels, and I have a target of 70 on it, although that may take a little time. My short-term target is 65. 62 is my short-term target, and then 70 in more of an intermediate type target. Again, though, with the short-term spurt and being as oversold it is, it may need some time to consolidate. Majesco Entertainment, cool. It's been really cool the last couple of days. Actually, it's really hot. It exploded here with a breakaway gap, pulled back this morning, and then spiked back up in the midst of the market decline and went from 2 to 259 before closing at 248 at 4.2 million, up another 10%. At this point, it's reaching into a resistance zone. If it gets through this, look for something up around the 3.25 zone short term. Kongzong, K-O-N-G. I wanted to show you this spectacular action lately in the face of a falling market. This is completely ignoring it. Popped two solid days, one pulled back, and then 2 days ago spiked back up. Yesterday again, and today, after morning reversals, both days close at the high for the day, going away. My target of 12 may be reached if the market cooperates. We shall see. It is getting overbought, though. KVA is forming a nice little 2-day pennant, a bullish one. I believe that it's similar to this and will follow through at some point soon to get up to that 14-15 zone with an eventual intermediate target potentially up as high as even 20. PKT consolidating bearish bullishly underneath key overhead resistance around the 1067 area. If we can get a pop through that zone, look for 12, 12.5. RPRX also consolidating a beautiful pennant over the last 6 sessions on low volume. With this strong pattern, we can see a spike up that takes us up to the 8-9 zone. But again, it's overbought short term, although it is consolidating nicely and digesting some of those gains. I would look for one more leg up to take this at least up towards the $8 range. Silicon Graphics, a recent swing trade of ours, which met its target around the 18-19 zone, is now continuing to move forward. And at this point, it appears like it may want to try the 21-22 zone. And SPPI had a dramatic and important technical breakout today above this double top and out of the wedge, spiking on 4 million shares up 68 cents or 10% in the face of a pretty ugly market today. Very impressive technical action. Now, stepping back and looking at the angle of ascent, one can draw a channel up around the $10 range for a target, and that's what we'll set as our target on that. Now that's it for the long side today. I do want to look at some stocks that we either shorted today or put out as shorts in the last couple of days and see how they're developing. ARMH, which was looking kind of toppy here with the head and shoulders top, broke down hard with the breakaway gap below the price support and the 50-day moving average, spiking down 274 or 10% on 11.5 million shares. Big drop to the downside. There is some support just below here in the 23-24 zone. So look for a potential pull down to that level and then maybe a bounce for another shorting opportunity. ASML, the Dutch semiconductor company, also looked like a top was forming. It broke down again through price support and the 50-day moving average to close right on the trend line down 244 or nearly 6% today on 3.6 million. Definitely deconstructive action, let's call it. Although if we can hold it right here, we may see a bounce back to retest resistance and maybe give us a shorting opportunity. Broadcom continues to act weak after breaking down from the head and shoulders top pattern and reaching support. It bounced to resistance, failed to take out the lateral price resistance, declining trend line, channel top, and the declining 21-day moving average. Today dropping $1.36 or 3.5% to 13.8 million shares. If this level, which is key support, is broken, I can see the stock moving its way down towards the 35-36 zone in short order. Carnival Cruise Lines, after breaking this topping pattern in February with a sharp spike to the downside, it bounced for 2-3 days on lower volume and then rolled over hard a week and a half ago. Since then, it's been backing and filling, forming a bearish wedge. Today, dropped back from 41.75 to 40.5 or so. Closed at 40.45, down 79 cents, but stepping back and looking at the potentials, the trend line and lateral price support, both around the 37.5 range, is my short-term target. Cloud Peak Energy, one of our box of shorts, broke the key trend line support here, came down to the neckline of the lateral price support around the 19.5 area, bounced up to resistance, failed at the declining tops line, lateral price resistance, or should I say the trend line resistance in terms of kissing back to it, and the 20 and 50-day moving averages, which have crossed over, are now coming down. So that zone there acted as key resistance. The stock backed off, bounced slightly yesterday, dropped back at 74 cents today, and appears to be headed down towards the 18.5 range for starters, and then potentially as low as 17. Keeping in mind that the market appears lower, we're interested in some of the ultra shorts as well. The FAZ acting interestingly here. It seems to have formed the base. Volume is accelerating as the stock moves up, and so is the on-balance volume. It appears to be being accumulated in this area. You can see the declining 50-day moving average has come down to meet price. A move up across the 41.5 range as early as tomorrow could break this out and quickly test the declining top line, which comes in around 43. A move through that, of course, could get it up to the 45.6 zone. But in any case, watch for this to finally make it a key breakout with this accumulation of volume, with the on-balance volume here surging as strongly as it is without price following it. It appears that this may be a setup for higher levels. Certainly not a good sign for the market. NTAP, NetApp, which had broken down last month and then formed a bear flag, today got crushed for 313. Although at one point down as much as $5, it did bounce back a bit, and still a negative day on 25 million shares, increasing volume to the downside. Now it did bounce off lateral price support, and now resistance at 49.5 range, 49.75 would be a potential target if the stock edges up towards that on low volume. Look for another shorting opportunity. Still my target on NetApp. If it takes out the 44 area, could be all the way down as low as 36.5. So keep your eye on that one. ROVI, another box of short, broke its head and shoulders top, came down hard, bounced to resistance, began to roll over, was down 70 cents today. And if it can break down below this line right there, I think the stock can accelerate to the bottom of the channel around 46. Our next major target after it breaks down below 50, 50.5, the spike low here in February. And lastly, look at the two other ultra shorts that we follow closely, the TZA, which today seemed to have broken out of a coil and back above the 21-day. It still has lateral price resistance to contend with up around the 42.5 area, which also happens to be the 50-day moving average, and just below the February spike high. So watch that level for a breakout, and above that, the stock could start to really move into the high 40s. And lastly today, the VXX, which I favor right now, has actually broken the declining tops line and its 50-day moving average out of the wedge today, with a breakaway gap on 34.5 million shares, up 5%, but this could be just the beginning of a move that if it does take out, say 35.5, we can see the stock accelerating up towards the low 40s and potentially even as high as the high 40s on a short-term basis, should we get a market break to the downside and break hard. You can see that with all this volume and the on-bounds volume and money stream moving up, that was signaling much like it is on the FAZ, a potential higher price. And today, this one did make that move. The other two are still waiting to break out, but keep your eye on all three of those. And that's it for this evening. And for this week, I'll talk to you Monday night.